Alrighty, layer 3 of the SAKTK Iceberg. Not gonna waste any time at all, just like last video, just gonna get right into it. This is the biggest tier after all, so yeah, let's do this thing. Round 666. Round 666 is a secret Easter egg within Endless Survival mode. For the easiest way to access it, simply enter a VIP server, head to the round select option, and type 666 for the starting round. You'll then be teleported to, well, heck I guess. We all know that 666 is the devil's number, of course, and, well, with this Easter egg being in the game, it kind of gives, you know, evidence to Endless Survival being some kind of hell or underworld. That or Satan's canon to the SAKTK storyline, I don't know, take your pick. Also, did you know that round 666 only exists in the game today because of my previous SAKTK Iceberg video I made? Yeah, for whatever reason, the creator of that iceberg decided to put round 666 on it as some sort of joke. Homer saw the video and decided to add it to the main game as a real thing. Yeah, I am not joking, I am the only reason this Easter egg exists in the game today. Neat origin story, don't you think? Like I said on layer 1, Homer watches my videos all the time. Well, actually, that's not true. I don't know if he watches my videos all the time. The only videos I know that he's watched are the original SAKTK Iceberg video and a SAKTK Discord video, or a video on SAKTK Discord that I deleted. So, maybe he doesn't watch me all the time, but hey, he's watching right now. I know that for a fact. SB Portula. We briefly mentioned this guy on the iceberg earlier, but for a quick reminder, SB Portula is one of Mafia1's longtime Roblox friends, and of course he created the previously mentioned SAKTK 2 game. I have SB Portula a whole layer below SAKTK 2 though, as I believe the game is more famous than SB Portula himself, so whoops. It's not really known if SB Portula has contributed to SAKTK a whole lot, or has even worked on the game at all recently. However, he is listed in the game's credits under character animations, and for helping with the Spanish translation for the game. Although even if he didn't work on SAKTK that much, it is worth noting that he did create a lot of maps for humans vs zombies. Also, random fact, a lot of people seem to be confused about the scientist guy within a lot of the old SAKTK mode thumbnails. Well, believe it or not, yeah, that's actually SB Portula's Roblox avatar. Neat little Easter egg, Homer. SAKTK shutdown. On July the 7th, 2022, Roblox actually took action against SAKTK, completely shutting down classic mode and putting the SAKTK test servers under review, basically stopping anyone from playing the game at all. And if you thought that was bad enough, Homer Mafia1's entire account was banned for exactly 3 days. This was due to SAKTK having blood within the game, you know, blood under the dying noob like we mentioned earlier, blood in the medical bay, blood in the, I think it's in the cinema room, blood on Sonic.exe. Yeah, I'm not joking, Roblox actually took down SAKTK by having some super unrealistic ketchup splattered around the map. It's as dumb as it sounds. Although this isn't the entire story. A couple of days before this whole ban happened, SAKTK test servers were actually put under review because of the execution room's existence of all things. Basically, Roblox moderation didn't like how there were torture devices within the room, such as an electric chair and a guillotine, which I guess is fair, that's why the execution room is so empty nowadays, by the way, but taking down the whole game for having some blood in it, it's kinda silly, don't you think? Now, I did actually speak with a couple of small Roblox developers and people who know way more about the Roblox TOS than me, and apparently the reason why Roblox took down SAKTK was probably due to the game being available on Xbox. And apparently Roblox Xbox have special guidelines on what you can put in your games, which of course includes no blood and violence whatsoever. And that's good and all, but there are so many Roblox games available on Xbox that have blood in them anyway. Like Phantom Forces, for example. Why isn't that game taken down? We don't know! I mean, this is Roblox after all, you know. I once uploaded an image of my Roblox avatar and they deleted it, saying it was inappropriate. And warned me for it. I still haven't gotten over that, by the way. I'm coming for you, Roblox. Although SAKTK, believe it or not, still has blood within the game. You know, like on the Tails door pop-up and on Leatherface's clothes. So I don't know why Roblox hasn't taken down the game again. I guess they're blind or something. But hey, at least now you know why a lot of the blood within SAKTK is gone nowadays. I don't really mind though, it didn't really add much to SAKTK. The leader curses. On the topic of SAKTK possibly breaking Roblox TOS, yeah, the leader within Area 51 storing actually uses a bad word. Oh dear, shield little Timmy's eyes. You don't need to be a genius to understand what word the leader was going to utter had he finished his sentence, but I'm actually surprised Roblox moderation still haven't caught on to this. That being said, it probably doesn't break Roblox TOS, like I guess an argument could be made that the leader could have almost said shoot or something instead. I don't know, it doesn't really matter, it's just a word anyway, like who really cares? The parents? Pfft. Subatomic Sam. Subatomic Sam is another developer that occasionally works on builds and models for SAKTK. He's most famous for creating the Tails doll area, as his name can be famously found in-game underneath the stairs in one of the rooms within that location. Also, he made Aberrations, so that's cool. But yeah, Sam is a little less known than the other two SAKTK devs or former devs I've mentioned on the Iceberg so far, but again, with all of the interactions I've had with him, I'd say he's a pretty chill guy. Jason's Chainsaw Glitch. Like the name implies, this entry refers to a glitch that could happen in older versions of SAKTK, where if you did a bunch of insane stuff, you could actually obtain Jason Voorhees' chainsaw weapon. No, I'm not kidding, like how was this bug even a thing? Now of course this glitch has long been patched, like it's been patched for so long that Jason doesn't even have a chainsaw anymore. He has a machete for crying out loud, he's not like a Leatherface clone. But yeah, apparently according to some long-time SAKTK players that I've spoken to about this glitch, apparently, and I say apparently because I don't actually have any proof of this, apparently the so-called chainsaw glitch that you allowed you to pick up Jason's chainsaw allowed you to kill other players, like with the chainsaw, which I could definitely see that making sense from a technical standpoint. Hey, killer mode before killer mode was a thing, I guess. Also, something else that's interesting to note, besides the fact that Jason literally can't harm players at all without his chainsaw, is the name of the weapon itself. Don't kill others. Interesting name, Homer. Sector 2. Sector 2 refers to an upcoming update that is or was planned to come to SAKTK in the future. The update would add an entirely new location to the game, new killers as well as new original weapons. It even had an entire story dedicated to it. In fact, I even made a whole video recently on all the content that's planned to come to the update so far. Although after I did make that video, Hexvillis, the lead developer of the update, stepped down as the developer. So at this point, Sector 2 might not even release at all, and it could be cancelled. However, I have heard that the remaining Sector 2 developers are still working on the game, so maybe, you know, the update could release sometime in the future, but I wouldn't get your hopes up. If you want the details though, again, I made a separate video talking about the update, so after this video is finished, go check it out. Garry's Mod Area 51 map. Yeah, that's right, an Area 51 map for the Steam game Garry's Mod actually exists. Not too much more on this entry though, since I've never actually played Garry's Mod myself, nor do I own the game, but from the screenshots and footage I found online, it's basically just a complete rip of Icy Fresh's underground base that I mentioned earlier. It even apparently has functioning elevators and doors that move up and down. So yeah, if you happen to have Garry's Mod lying around, look it up, download it, and see what you think. Link in description. The Toxic Maze. The Toxic Maze is a removed location within SAKTK Classic and Killer Mode, and as the name suggests, it was a huge maze location that was present within the sewer area. In fact, it was so large that killer NPCs refused to enter the area entirely, based on their AI. Within the maze, through enough exploring, you could eventually get the AWP and M4A1 weapons. So yeah, if you knew your way around the location, you could get two pretty easy guns without the fear of being killed by any killer. Now, the main reason why the Toxic Maze was removed is pretty obvious. It was just too complicated for SAKTK. I mean, it's one thing having a confusing area to explore, but an entire maze with like a million dead ends? It's just not fun at all. And in fact, the area was so poorly designed, it didn't even make its way into Endless Survival or Juggernaut mode. Thankfully though, some of the assets did go on to be used in the new and arguably much better sewer update and expansion to the game, so it's not a total L, I suppose. I know that some people did like the Toxic Maze, but I don't know, it just didn't really work. I'm not one of those people, and I'm glad we have something much better in the game now. Escape from Area 51. Escape from Area 51, much like Beneath the Surface, is another old Area 51 game that was made and developed by Homer Mafia 1. Yes, another one. Although unlike Beneath the Surface, Escape from Area 51 is basically just your average, boring, bland Area 51 game. Although this one seems to have a big focus on Slender Man for whatever reason. Yeah, basically every killer is some variant of Slender. It's pretty weird. Again, like Beneath the Surface, it's probably worth checking out Escape Area 51 if you have around 15 minutes to kill. It's a pretty short game and has a couple of new rooms, and of course you can actually escape Area 51, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, that's about it really. Nothing too mind-blowing. Aberration was originally a killer. This one is pretty self-explanatory, but I'll briefly talk about it nonetheless. But yes, before Aberration was turned into a boss, she was actually a normal killer within Classic Mode. Unfortunately though, she never made it past the test servers before the developers, and specifically Homer, decided to scrap her entirely. This was probably because she was just way too unique compared to the rest of the game, and the area which was created specifically for her caused a lot of lag between servers. Yeah, you heard that right, Aberration even had her own mini location centered around her. fire, which even inspired the previously mentioned Sector 2 idea I mentioned just a bit ago. And although Aberration eventually made her way back into Boss Rush, of course, as we all know, the area that she once spawned in didn't, and it's still on the list of removed SAKTK features. But in short, yes, Aberration did used to be a killer. 81975. Before the code for the alien room was changed to be a random 5-digit number that was different for every classic, killer, and storming mode server, it actually always used to be a fixed number that never changed. And of course that number was 81975. And fun fact, instead of spawning in many different locations all across the map randomly, it always spawned within the Slenderman room, which funny enough is still a valid code location to this day. This was likely changed due to Homer wanting the code to be server specific instead of having players to just look up the code online and get a free badge. It makes sense if you think about it. But hey, I guess it's still possible that when you join a classic mode server, the code could still be randomized perfectly to 81975, albeit a very, very small chance of that happening. 1 million kills event. On the 31st of December 2022, HomerMafia1 himself hosted a live event within a SAKTK VIP server to congratulate the player Seeb for being the first legitimate person ever to reach 1 million killers killed within the game. The event itself had a whole fireworks scene, and both HomerMafia1 and Seeb gave their own word on the massive achievement. After this event, all of the players within the server were teleported to a copy of the SAKTK map from 2015 as a final celebration. No, I am not joking, this event was sick. Now this event, even if I didn't show up, was actually really cool to watch, and I really hope Homer does something like this in the future, like a SAKTK live event. It doesn't have to be in every single mode, it could just be in classic mode, but like having like a live event that debuted a new mode or something like that, I'd really like to see it. And although this event was pretty cool and all, even if I wasn't able to attend, Seeb, the player who did reach 1 million kills, well, let's just say things only started going downhill from there. But that's an entry we'll cover on the next layer of the iceberg. Vicious Wraith. The Vicious Wraith was an NPC that was introduced within the SAKTK Halloween event update of 2022. After talking to the entity, you could choose to accept his quest in collecting the pieces of candy around the map for both a badge and the access to play the strolling around track on the main menu screen. All of this is probably non-canon to the SAKTK storyline, but the Vicious Wraith was in the game at one point. Hey, maybe next year they'll let us play as him as a killer in killer mode and juggernaut mode. Who knows? Would be pretty cool. Gun duplication glitch. Similarly to the previously mentioned Jason chainsaw bug, the gun duplication glitch is similar in that it doesn't work anymore in modern day SAKTK. What it involved was giving a chosen gun to Ghostface, buying or equipping another gun, killing Ghostface who had your previous weapon, and bam, you had 2 guns just like that. But you could definitely stack more than 2 with this method. This glitch was most commonly used in Endless Survival to duplicate ray guns to reach crazy high rounds without running out of ammo. Of course, this doesn't matter as much anymore, as soon as this glitch was eventually patched, Homer added round saving, making it actually possible to reach round 300 in Endless again without cheating, so it's not the end of the world. Roblox FPS Unlocker. Roblox FPS Unlocker is a plugin for Roblox that, like the name suggests, unlocks your frames per second whenever you play any Roblox game or you're using Roblox Studio. As if you don't know, Roblox caps your frames at 60 for whatever reason, there isn't a reason. Now this plugin is actually really cool, but what does it have to do with SAKTK? Well, Roblox FPS Unlocker, it makes SAKTK run a little strangely, to say the least. Most notably, a lot of killer animations get much faster, guns become more fluid, and the loading screens go crazy. I mean, look at this. In fact, it's so much of a difference and an advantage for those using the plugin that Roblox FPS Unlocker has actually been banned by SAKTK speedrunning altogether, and I can't say I blame the mod team. Michael Myers. This refers to a pretty hilarious mistake that was present on the Killer Choice screen back when Killer Mode was first released, in which it listed Michael Myers being spelled as Michael Myers. It's pretty funny that this oversight made its way into the final game, but it makes sense I suppose, as of course English is not Homer's first language. There have been some other spelling mistakes within SAKTK in the past, and some grammar errors too. However, this, I'd argue, is probably the biggest and best one we'll ever get. Gamer Boy. Gamer Boy is a former developer of SAKTK, and worked on a couple of animations for the game. Yep, I'm gonna be honest, I have absolutely no idea what Gamer Boy has done for the main game. What, did he create like some killer models or something like that? I know he made like the run animation in like classic mode, but yeah, I couldn't tell you. Now you see, back in 2020, Gamerboy left the SAKTK community and unfriended Homer in the process. This was due to Gamerboy repeatedly breaking rules within SAKTK Discord and him thinking he was a developer who could get away with doing so, until Homer banned him. Common Homer Mafia 1W, I think. But yeah, Gamerboy hasn't been seen in the SAKTK community since, and probably won't return ever again. Surprisingly though, he does still play Roblox to this day, it seems. The Fazbear Gamer. The Fazbear Gamer is or was the first ever documented YouTuber that covered SAKTK and Roblox Area 51 content consistently. Basically the first ever SAKTK content creator. He began his channel all the way back in 2015 by uploading meme videos, however quickly switched to making Roblox content, and you guessed it, videos on SAKTK and Area 51 games. In fact, his most popular SAKTK video today sits at almost 800,000 views, which may not seem like a lot nowadays, but back then for 2017, well, that was pretty good. Especially considering that back then, SAKTK and Area 51 games didn't have much content in them at all. In fact, the Fazbear Gamer even played Area 51 games like Escape Area 51, Beneath the Surface, and SAKTK 2. However, unfortunately, as some of you may know by now, the Fazbear Gamer hasn't uploaded since late 2017, and his channel has since become incredibly inactive. And I really can't say I blame the guy, back then in 2017, Roblox was still basically considered a kid's game. Maybe the guy just grew up one day and stopped wanting to do YouTube. Maybe he went to a new school. We have no idea. And, like I said, there really wasn't much to Roblox and SAKTK back then. Everyone says that old Roblox is better, but old Roblox sucked, let's be honest. Although even if he's grown out of YouTube today, he doesn't seem to have moved on from Roblox quite yet. In fact, at the time of making this video, his account, Shoma2004, was seen online quite recently actually, and he even still seems to heart and respond to occasional comments on his channel, although he has also deleted a few videos I've noticed. Will the Fazbear Gamer ever come back to content creation today? Well, probably not, but I don't think he has to. The Fazbear Gamer has cemented his legacy within SAKTK forever, I think. And if it wasn't for him, I probably wouldn't be here today either. Old badge icons. Now, badges within SAKTK have been a part of the game since basically release date, but what you may not know about them is that they didn't always look this clean. In fact, here are a few examples of what some of the newer badges to older badges look like side by side. And yeah, the difference in quality is pretty obvious. The reason for this, of course, is because Homer created the old badges and Hexvilius created the new ones, an actual artist. Now, obviously, I prefer the newer badge icons. I mean, it would be something if we still had badges being drawn in Microsoft Paint, and not discrediting Homer's art skills or anything, they're very good, but, newer ones are better. But yeah, this is what all of the old badges look like. There's a wiki page in the description that gives you a list of all of them, but in short, if you remember any of these, consider yourself a long-time SAKTK player. Killer vs Killer mode. Killer vs Killer mode is a custom SAKTK game mode made by Homer Mafia 1 himself for special live events which are held on the SAKTK Discord. It's not actually in the base game, but rather is only activated within a specific server when Homer enables some type of developer script. As you can expect from the name, Killer vs Killer mode focuses on the killers against the killers, and yeah, it's pretty cursed with all of them spawning on the surface like this, but quite fun to watch, I must say. Now, will Killer vs Killer mode ever officially be added into the game? Probably not. I mean, Slender would just dominate since he insta-kills, but there are videos on YouTube if you want to see this quote-unquote removed mode in action. Rustlin Sow. Rustlin Sow is one of, if not the most famous SAKTK speedrunner of all time, and has held countless world records on the game in the past. Whether that be in boss rush mode with his insane times, or his endless playthroughs where he's made it further than any exploiter could boast about, most people consider Rustlin Sow to be the best SAKTK player of all time. And honestly, I would actually agree with that fact, or at least he's in the top 5. I mean, how many world records does he currently hold? 3? 5? It's so many, and his dedication to grind hundreds and hundreds of hours each week just to keep them is insane. But yeah, just wanted to add this section in just because Rustlin Sow's done so much for the community and I feel like he deserves more recognition for it. Don't worry, he did not hold me at gunpoint and ask me to add this section in or anything, Alright, Rustlin Sow, I think they bought it. I think we've just fooled everyone. Although I know he's watching the video right now, I still don't know how to say his name right. Rustlin Sow? Rustlin Sow? Probably should have added that fact to the iceberg. Killer themes. As most of you probably know by now, 2 out of the 25 killers currently in SAKTK play music when you are close to them, these being both Smile Dog and Slender Man. However, what you may not know is where these music tracks originate from. Smile Dog's theme comes from a shortened down version of the song Fear by a music artist with a surname I am not going to attempt pronouncing, and as for Slender's theme, it's basically just a shortened down version of the song Dark Tension Eerie by the publisher Planet Unknown. The main reason why these killers have themes within the game is most likely because they were taken from a free model made by somebody else on the marketplace, and of course Homer or the developers never really saw a reason to remove them. But yeah, I think killers having their own music track just makes them more memorable and interesting overall. I hope we get more of them in the future. Bosses don't count, by the way. Rake Hellhounds. Every 3 to 5 rounds within Endless Survival mode, a Hellhound round has a chance to spawn instead of, regular killers. These Hellhound rounds are notably far easier than regular killer rounds, are a lot faster, and they give you a max ammo power up at the end. So yes, they are indeed very helpful. But of course, the Hellhounds that appear on these rounds aren't actually Hellhounds. No, they're just Smile Dogs. But did you know that at one point, Hellhounds actually had their own custom model? Well, I wouldn't really say custom. They're basically just a reskinned, darker version of the Rake, which is why I gave them the name of Rake Hellhounds. And I'm gonna be honest, I prefer these over the current Hellhounds we have today. Sure, Smile Dog is indeed a dog, so it makes sense for why he would act like a Hellhound, but there's literally nothing that sets both the Hellhound and the killer apart. Well, I guess the difference would be the fire, but even that is such a minor change. And in fact, at least at the time of making this video, normal Smile Dog doesn't even appear as a regular killer within Endless. Like, what's up with that? I don't know, I feel like Smile Dog should appear as a normal killer while also appearing as a Hellhound. It just makes so much sense. But what type of Hellhound do you think is better? Let me know in the comments. The old Hellhounds or the Smile Dog Hellhounds? I wouldn't be surprised if this got changed in the future. Whew, and that's part 3 done. Part 3 out of 5, we're over halfway. Thank God, I was almost resorting to giving up on this entire video series, but yeah, here we are, I guess. Whew, yeah, as always, I'll try and get part 4 out as quick as possible. Again, not sure when it's going to be out. I'm Ash from the past here, looking into the future. I haven't even scripted part 4 or 5 yet, so they're going to have to be recorded on a different day. But yeah, I'm going to go lay down now. Layer 4 and 5, they've got some pretty obscure stuff, and I'm really excited to cover them. Yeah, I'm going to go lay down. I'll see you then. Bye-bye.